Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the principal coach of the Domingo Cafritz Young Artist Program, Ken Weiss.
Good evening, everybody. You know, the Washington National Opera is now running both Puccini's Manon Lescaut and Bellini's Norma. And to do those shows, we've brought a great number of tremendously talented artists in. People who, of course, sing things far beyond those two shows. And this evening, this singer showcase gives us a chance to show you some of the other things our artists do. We'll hear quite a few numbers by Puccini, something from the birthday boy this year, Giuseppe Verdi, plus music of American and even Spanish composers, and a little bit of operetta at the end. We are going to start with some Puccini, not from Manon Lescaut. Two things from relative rarities. The first is a number from Puccini's La Rondine. This was Puccini's one foray into operetta. And the story here is that we are at a very, very fancy high society party in Paris. And there's a woman there named Magda, who is the mistress of a very wealthy banker. And she is living the high life, but when she's asked to sing a song at this party, she reveals that that is not quite enough for her, because she says, "Che importa la ricchezza se al fine è rifiorito la felicità?" What does wealth matter if happiness can bloom? And we'll hear soprano Jill Gardner sing that. Then we'll hear a piece from Puccini's second opera, Edgar. This is also a piece about yearning for true love, but in a slightly different situation. The character here is named Frank. He is in love with a woman named Tigrana, and she treats him awful bad. Awful bad. And he says in the aria, "Mille volte al ciel giurai di fuggirla e a lei tornai." I swore 1,000 times that I would leave her, and every time I came back. We'll hear that from baritone Javier Arrey. And then a third number by Puccini, this from a fellow who is not expecting true love and is really okay with that. He is Lieutenant Pinkerton from Puccini's Madama Butterfly, and he is explaining his philosophy to the American consul in Nagasaki, because he has just arranged to marry a young Japanese bride, Madama Butterfly. And his philosophy boils down to a girl in every port, and that's a good deal. And the consul, a fellow named Sharpless, says to him, "È un facile Vangelo." That's an easy creed to live by, and it brings pleasure to the senses, but it brings sorrow to the heart. But you will see that Pinkerton is unconvinced. Instead of acknowledging the consul's concerns, he shrugs them off and he proposes a toast. The two words in English you'll hear in that first set, America forever. So please welcome soprano Jill Gardner to sing Chi il bel sogno from Puccini's La Rondine. At the piano will be Michael Baitzer.
Good evening.
Ciò rivela
We'll turn in the next section to some numbers about jealousy. And we'll start with the great monologue of Ford from Verdi's Falstaff. Verdi's the birthday boy this year, as I mentioned. He was born in 1813, so this is his bicentennial. To celebrate, the Washington Opera will mount a new production of his opera La Forza del Destino, or The Force of Destiny, this fall. The aria we're about to hear is from a man who thinks he has just found out that his wife is cheating on him, and not just cheating on him, but cheating on him with an aging and frankly rotund knight named Sir John Falstaff. And he is enraged and appalled. And he starts the aria saying, "Es sogno o realtà?" Is it a dream or is it real? Because I feel not just horns, the traditional sign of cuckoldry, growing on my head, I feel two enormous antlers growing on my head. And he goes on a rant, and he imagines all the things people are saying about him, and he says, I could trust a drunkard with my liquor cabinet and a glutton with my pantry, but I can't trust my wife to herself. And he ends by saying, Laudata sempre sia in fondo del mio cor la gelosia. Praised be forever in the bottom of my heart, jealousy. And then another version of jealousy from Puccini's opera Tosca. This is the Act 1 duet between the title character, the singer Floria Tosca, and the man she loves with passion and terrible jealousy, the painter Mario Cavaradossi. Tosca has come into a church where Cavaradossi is painting a picture of Mary Magdalene, and she recognizes the subject, the model he's used for Mary Magdalene. It is the Marchesa Attavanti, a contemporary, and she flies into a rage because she thinks that the reason Mario has put her in this picture is because he's having an affair with her. Mario works very, very hard to talk her out of this, and teases her about being so jealous. And Tosca eventually relents, but she says at the end of the duet, the Attavanti has blue eyes. Make her eyes black like mine. And then we'll have a bonus number, not listed in the program. We'll hear Tosca's famous aria from Act 2 of the opera. This is when, as you may recall, Mario has been captured, held as a political prisoner, and condemned to death by the evil Baron Scarpia. And Scarpia proposes a terrible deal to Tosca. She can submit to his lusts, or she can see Mario die. And in this moment, Tosca turns in prayer to God, and she says, I lived only for art. I lived for love. I went to church and I prayed. I offered flowers for the altar of the Madonna. Why in this moment, O Lord, do you repay me like this? The aria, of course, is called Vici Darte, and we'll hear it from Jill Gardner. But first, Norman Garrett to sing the monologue of Ford, then Raul Melo, who you heard as Pinkerton, will return as Mario Cavaradossi with Jill Gardner as Floria Tosca.
mio destino olandese l'urco. La mia bottiglia d'acqua vita un turco non mi ammali a se stessa. Urlai da sorte con la brutta parola in cor mi torna due capron le fuste torte le corna ma non mi sfuggirai no sozzo reo danato e piccoreo Io coppio, e poi li colgo, li coppio, li colgo, li coppio, li colgo, la coppio, li colgo, la coppio, la coppio. Scoppio. Vendicherò l'affronto. Laudata sempre sia nel fondo del mio cor la gelosia. Lasciami al lavoro,
Mi disfacci,
tu te l'offro, lo sai,
vado. Chi è quella donna bionda lassù?
la Maddalena ti piace,
Troppo bella,
preziosa elogia,
ridi, quegli occhi celestrini gialli vidi.
ce n'è tanti pel mondo,
Aspetta, il lato avanti, la verità, ma tu l'avi,
solo a caso,
qui passi e qui risveglia, qui sono puro,
via via,
alla civetta, ave.
avvidi ieri, ma fu puro caso, pregar qui venne, non visto la ritrassi.
Giuro,
Giuro,
come mi guarda fiso,
vien via,
di me per fare da ridere.
follia,
Quegli occhi,
vuolo chiamano, star di poro all'ardente occhio torero. E qui nell'esser mio e n'esser io s'avvisa intero che non sai marina fiera al mondo può star di poro gelosa.
Sì, lo sento, ti tormento senza posa.
Io gelosa.
Solo del perdono.
Io gelosa.
Solo del perdono. Se tu guardi alla mia quando peccata, mai tutta spettinata.
Orva, lasciami.
Tu fino a stasera stai fermo al lavoro e mi prometti, sia caso fortuna, sia treccia biondo bruno, a pregar non verrà donna nessuna.
Lo giuro, amore. Va,
Quanto m'affretti,
ancora.
no, perdona.
Avanti la Madonna.
E tanto buono.
We turn now to a few things American. First, we'll have from Carlisle Floyd's opera Susanna, the aria of Susanna in Act 1 called Ain't It a Pretty Night. Susanna is up on her roof with her friend Little Bat in a small town in Appalachia, and she is looking up at the starry skies and wondering what it is that lies beyond the little valley where she's from. What it'd be like to be in a big city with all the stores and all the street lights and the people who dress fancy the way you see in the mail order catalogs. We'll hear it from soprano Angela Fout. And then a piece from Kismet, which is a musical by Wright and Forrest based on the music of Alexander Borodin. We'll hear the entrance of the poet into 12th century Baghdad. He's coming into the marketplace with his daughter Marcina. What he has to sell, of course, in the marketplace are rhymes. We'll hear it from Norman Garrett with Maria Antunes. And then, by the way, if you're interested in American music, Washington National Opera will be offering a lot of it next month. We, of course, have a production of Showboat opening in the Opera House, directed by Francesca Zambello. We will be here on the Millennium stage to preview it in early May, and also in early May, on May 5th at the Renwick Gallery, right across from the White House, we will be doing our annual program of American opera scenes with the Domingo Cafritz Young Artists. And we look forward to seeing you there, if you can make it. So, after those two numbers, we'll hear something else that's not in your program. Instead of Mein Herr Marquis, we will hear a little zarzuela, that is Spanish operetta. This is from a piece called Las Sijas De Zevedeo by Ruperto Chapí. It's called The Carceleras. And the story here, we have a capricious young woman. She has a boyfriend who is very cute, and everybody wants him, but as she says, she's got him all for herself. And then finally, we'll hear a little more operetta. This is from the Flair Mouse. This is the Czardas that Rosalinda sings in Act 2. You may remember that in the story, Rosalinda has gone to a fancy costume ball disguised as a Hungarian countess. She has gone there to spy on her husband, who has also snuck into this costume ball disguised as somebody else. But somebody calls her bluff and says, "How do we know you are a real Hungarian countess?" And so she has to sing a Hungarian number. And we will hear it again from Angela Fout. Before we hear this last set of music, I want to acknowledge the participation of the Domingo Cafritz Young Artists and pianist Artyom Grishayev, who has been playing much of what you've heard tonight. I thank you all very much for coming tonight. I look forward to seeing you at the opera, and enjoy the rest of the program.
Ain't it a pretty folks dress nice like you see in the mail order catalogs. I aim to leave this valley someday and find out for myself, to see all the tall buildings and all the street lights, and to be one of them folks that I wonder if I'd get lonesome for the valley though, for the sound of crickets and the smell of pine straw, for soft little rabbits and blooming things, and the mountains standing there in the fall. But I could always come back if I got homesick for the valley. So I'll leave it today and see for myself. Someday I'll leave, and then I'll come back when I'm sad. What's beyond them painted a pretty night. The sky is so heavy with stars tonight that it could fall right down out of heaven and cover us up, and cover us up in one big blanket of velvet and tannins.
Rhymes, fine rhymes, sweet rhymes have I. Dry rhymes, sly rhymes, neat rhymes have I. In a world too prone to be prosaic, I bring my own panacea, an iota of iambic and a tittle of prosaic, added to a small amount of onomatopoeias that sing. With rhymes have I, couplets that ring like chimes have I. Happy rhymes like money makes you sunny, spicy rhymes like virtue can hurt you. Learned rhymes, the camel's a mammal, and others very various, and matters multifarious like beard, sheared, burnous, loose, stairs, prayers, mosque, kiosk, minaret, and a parapet, and many more that I'll beget betimes. Rhymes have I, rhymes have I. I have a rhyme to suit everyone's particular needs, gentlemen, including yours. Choose your topic. Weddings, birthdays, openings of small businesses, love eternal, women wiles, glory, infamy, songs of sense and pertinence in reference to all events and climes. Rhymes have I, rhymes have I have
Rhymes, fine rhymes, true rhymes as he. Rhymes, bright rhymes, new rhymes as he. Thoughtful rhymes,
learning leads to earning.
truthful rhymes,
Drinking stops you thinking.
helpful rhymes,
Sinning is thinning.
and others miscellaneous and matters more extraneous like crutch,
Clutch,
look,
hook,
vagrant,
fragrant,
dervish,
curvish,
horn,
born,
caravan,
Afghanistan,
dromedary,
very hairy,
very,
very sorry.
Songs of sense
and pertinence in reference to all events and climes. Rhymes have I, rhymes has she,
rhymes as he,
rhymes have we, rhymes have we have rhymes.
al pensare nel dueño de mis amores, siento yo una marea encantadora. Bendito sea aquel picarazo que me marea. A mi novia yo le quiero porque roba corazones con su gracia y su salero, salero, salero. Porque roba corazones con su gracia y su salero. A mi novia yo le quiero porque roba corazones con su gracia y su salero, salero, salero. Él me tiene muy afana porque hay muchas que le quieren y se quedan con la gana, la gana, la gana. Porque hay muchas que le quieren y se quedan con la gana. Él me tiene muy afana porque hay muchas que le quieren y se quedan con la gana, la gana, la gana. Y se quedan con la gana. Caprichosa yo no sé, y la quiero solamente, solamente para mí, ay, solamente para mí, ay. Que quitarme mi sonor, es lo mismo que quitarme la hojita o la flor, ay, las hojitas o la flor, ay, las hojitas o la flor, las hojitas o la flor. Yo me muero de gozo cuando él me mira y me vuelvo jalea cuando suspira. Si me echa flores, siento el corazoncito morir de amor. Porque tiene unos ojillos que me miran entornados, muy gachones y muy pillos, muy pillos, muy pillos, que me miran entornados, muy gachones y muy pillos. Porque tiene unos ojillos que me miran entornados, muy gachones y muy pillos, muy pillos, muy pillos. Y me dicen en los celos que por esa personita me derrito yo y me muero, me muero, me muero. Que por esa personita me derrito yo y me muero. Jemand sollte für mich sprechen. Meister!